Hey guys, it's Anna from AMV here. Today we're going to be discussing some of the system upgrades for the Bosch Performance Line CX system. We've been lucky enough to get a pre-release ride on the new Bosch Performance Line CX upgrades that are available to download via the Flow app on our Cube Stereo 177 Hybrid. When Bosch released their new Performance Line CX last year, it came with 85 Nm torque, 600 watts peak power and up to 340% assistance. Pretty standard, on par with what we'd seen previously from Bosch, but with other players really pushing the limits in the market, we sort of wondered what was next. Lo and behold, they've announced this new system upgrade available for free, as I said, via the Flow app, which can give you up to 750 watts peak power, 100 Nm of torque, and up to 400% assistance. Along with these power upgrades and support assistance upgrades, Bosch have also released the new eMTB Plus mode, and that is available to configure via the Flow app. Simply head into the app, tick up to 4 modes that you would like displayed, and add that eMTB Plus mode in. eMTB Plus is a dynamic support mode, so it adjusts the output depending on what you're doing. Makes it quite intuitive, also quite representative of mountain bike riding in terms of when you're putting the effort in on the steep climbs and whatnot. This mode does allow up to 400% assistance, unlike the eMTB mode, which is 340. Of course, you can toggle the assistance up and down as you like using the Flow app. eMTB Plus mode also features Bosch's extended boost feature, which gives about a 2-meter overrun. This is super duper handy if you are racing eMTB Enduro and you're doing the power stages, which require that momentum and that overrun to get up and over obstacles, but it's also just really nice. It means you can ride pretty much up everything. In addition to some new power numbers, some new torque, and the eMTB Plus mode, Bosch have also launched the new Kiox 400C head unit, which fits inside existing frames with the new generation Performance Line CX. This is available as an aftermarket purchase, so just head to your retailer to find out when that's available for your specific bike. The Kiox 400 allows a dynamic display which switches between climbing, flat, and descending, and changes the display depending on what's going on. You can also use the Kiox to toggle through your modes and even charge your smartphone. All right, so we got the specs, we know what's happening, what's it like to ride with the new upgrades for the Bosch Performance Line CX system. Well, I can say on my first ride, I was mighty impressed. It's a significant upgrade having that 750 watts and that 400% assistance. Initially, I had Turbo eMTB Plus, eMTB and Tour Plus, and that was a pretty nice span across the 4 modes that I used. However, eMTB Plus and Turbo mode are actually pretty similar. They're different in how they divvy out the power. eMTB Plus is much more intuitive, works better on the trails, and really with that extended boost is great for that technical trail riding, whereas Turbo mode is just full gas the whole time. And so as a result of this, if you are extensively using eMTB Plus or Turbo, your range will go down. In fact, eMTB Plus is much closer to Turbo mode in terms of range than it is to eMTB mode. Okay, so those 2 modes, while they operate kind of similarly, they are also different in terms of the support that they will offer. In fact, being used to riding in an eMTB kind of mode myself, having that extra support of eMTB Plus kind of felt a little bit unhinged at times. You really had to plan when you were pedaling and when you were going to put the power down, because if you were coming into a really tight corner, you might just like pedal off into the distance. You might pedal through the corner and not make that corner. So you can adjust the assistance in the Flow app as well if you're finding that it's a little bit too punchy for you. If you have a little bit of a plan and forethought in how you're going to be riding and how that differs from your usual ride, you can make the most of eMTB Plus, save your legs, and also hammer and get the benefit of that power when you need it. eMTB mode was super fun. You could ride up anything, and you'll feel super fresh at the top if you were going to be riding an enduro. Your legs weren't zapped, you didn't have to use as much energy to get over really steep technical sections. That being said, as I did mention, the range is a key thing. You're using roughly the same range as in turbo mode, maybe slightly less. So if you are out for a really big day, if you have a really massive battery like we have on this Cube, you're probably right, but you can look at the Powermore 250 range extender, or like most of us will do, just flicking between the modes. If you're cruising on the road and you don't need as much support between trails or on flatter bits, you can just click it down and just really save that output for when you need it the most. Overall, the new upgrades to the Bosch Performance Line CX unit were pretty amazing. I was very impressed in how essentially not a huge amount of watts and torque, but enough to make it significantly different ride characteristics. eMTB Plus mode is super fun and will be super useful if you are into enduro or even any sort of cross-country e-bike racing. I think that'll be super beneficial for any riders engaging in that sort of stuff. And I also really like how Bosch have taken up the fight against inbuilt obsolescence by offering this to the existing units with the current generation of Performance Line CX. Bosch have always been really good at offering backwards compatible upgrades, and this is just another example of that from them. So if you have an existing Performance Line CX bike, or if you're considering something that's spec'd with that, take this into account. It's a really, really fun new mode with the eMTB Plus, and you're definitely reaping the rewards of that extra support, extra power, and extra torque that this system upgrade delivers. So make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy biking content, and we'll keep delivering some cool stuff from Australian Mountain Bike Magazine. Ciao!